Hi, I'm Sophia Priolo. I play the Duchess of Aumerle. In Shakespeare's text would have been the Duke of Aumerle. Historically, his name was Edward, and he was the son of the first Duke of York. Later, he becomes the second Duke of York. She is the cousin of both Richard II and Henry Bolingbroke. So she finds herself in a bit of a sticky situation, an interesting situation between her cousins throughout this play. I am an American actress, but I am based in London. I live in London now. I was born in Georgia, but raised in Alabama. So you might hear a bit of a southern twang from my Duchess. So the Duchess of Aumerle is a very interesting character in our play. She has an interesting journey. The question is, why does she dislike Henry so much more than her father, seemingly? Basically, if we look back in history, he, the Duke of Aumerle, was knighted into the Order of the Garter, which is like the top tier of knighthood, at the coronation of Richard II. Okay, and during Richard's reign, Richard bestowed upon her titles and lands and status, even making her Admiral of the Fleet at one point. Okay, so there's a real rapport with them as cousins. Richard brings her on to his council. This is all, I'm referring to her as a she because it's me, but historically this is about Edward, the Duke of Aumerle. He and Richard had a very close relationship. Okay, so as the Duchess, her loyalties are going to be to Richard. He basically made her into what she is as far as her status, her lands, her prominence, and her titles. Okay, so that's where her loyalties are. Now, when Henry takes over and just kind of, swashbuckles himself in, she's like, no. I mean, she, everything she has was given to her by Richard and because of Richard. And she feels very threatened. She doesn't know if Henry's going to let her keep her titles or if he's got other people that he wants to give the titles to. So, yeah, she's not a fan. She's not a fan of that situation at all, even though Henry is also her cousin. So while the Duke of York, her father, does seem to be able to switch allegiance pretty quickly from Richard to Henry, she actually plots against Henry. She, plots against what then would be treason, because at that point he is now taken over as king. And her father, the Duke of York, finds out, freaks out, and basically runs to tell Henry, you need to kill my daughter because she's a traitor. Her mother finds out her father's doing this and barges in the throne room basically to Henry and says, please don't kill her. She didn't mean it. And her mother pleads for her. And she ultimately, the Duchess, does repent and begs for pardon from Henry and says, my heart is not confederate with my hand. Meaning, I wrote the treason, but I didn't mean it. Please forgive me. And she does beg forgiveness, and he grants it. And later, actually, she does go on to enjoy, historically, she does go on to enjoy a bit of prosperity in Henry's reign as well. So she kind of gets the best of both of her cousins' reign, considering she did plot treason against the latter. It works out well for her. So yeah, so she's interesting. She's got a really cool journey, and figuring out the thought process behind, when she asks forgiveness, how much of that is just trying to save her neck, and how much does she realize, oh, he's actually quite kind to forgive her. Like, I don't know, there's a lot with it that I've been trying to kind of figure out in her journey. So yeah, that's the Duchess. Some family tensions between herself and her father. But yeah, come see the play, find out just how that all goes down.